Johnny. Right, that is your center. Johnny,
What?
right here.
Neutral. The R in neutral.
Right here is your center.
Okay, understood.
Are you getting like tilted?
I am a little bit.
Some might say.
It's 32 gigs, and he's gonna waste all of it.
Some would say he's going in dry.
So, is it starting over?
Johnny,
You just start.
Good evening, ladies.
All right. He's out. He's out.
Aaron, you're in.
One more time.
Go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a deck profile on TS Powerline by Johnny Wrong. Today, the star of this performance is Harri. I'm not upset at all because this is only the fourth time I've had to say this. It's a Harri deck profile, and no deck profile would be complete without four of your star performers. I mean, you could run less, but you'd probably cry in the corner. I'm sorry, are you that upset? I'll take that as a yes, which is perfect, because I don't care. Accompanying the Ringmaster are 4 copies of Cutie Paratrooper, which is a very potent card for the Harri deck, and any deck that is inclined to run the Harri Stride. I mean, I run it 1 because it's I don't expect to stride more than 3 times, but if I do, I like my backups. What Paratrooper does is once Generation breaks online, if it's Superior Call from the Soul, having a Harri Heart will allow you, when it's called, to Soul Charge 1, and then Superior Call another unit into the same column with an additional 5k power. This synergizes very well with Harri's Heartbreak skill, which for Counterblast 1 allows you to Soul Charge 1 and call a unit to any rearguard circle with an additional 5k power. So, if more or less any 2 units that you put down on the field at the same time will mandate at least a 15k guard for it to successfully block the attack, which is very strong. And if you're using basically any grade 2 or any grade 3 in front of it, it's a 20k guard. Most people aren't going to drop that so quick. You've got 4 of your Darkside Swordmaster, which is the Harri specific crit, as opposed to other decks that have the heart specific crits that when with the generic insert into soul plus 5k draw 1. This one gets extra utility because once it's in the soul, it can be superior called to be inserted into the deck over and over again. In addition to that, with your Harri Stride, you have the luxury of the timing of its effect, because when it swings, it enters a state of when this unit attacks. The benefit of that is, if you have this unit on the field already, you can put it into the soul, and then if you're using Harri's effect, a hefty Counterblast 2, by putting any other unit into the soul, you can call out 3 units to any rearguard circles, so long as they're separate. Funny thing you can do, if you were to say put all 3 crits get multiple crits out, after you use the Harri effect to get the cards out, you could then, while you're still in the state of when this unit attacks, put them into the soul to amplify its power and draw a lot. You're going to end up with a rather weak attack, but you're not going to have much backup on the sides if you were to throw 3 crits in, but it's a very strong defensive protocol that you gain as well. And then you have your 3 Harri Stride neighbors. They're bunnies. They're adorable. Well, actually, no, they're not bunnies. They are bunnies. They're war beasts. Never mind. They're bunny people. They're adorable, and they're going to ruin your life. Grade 2s for the deck. Because it's a Generation Break reliant deck, you're going to want your 10k vanillas. I run them at 4. There's definitely worse you could do, better you can do, but they protect you from rushing. And if you really want to be crazy, you could probably run more of them. I choose to run Flying Perryton at 2 as its shenanigans of being able to get free superior calls. It's useful. However, because Paratrooper will be doing the same and giving you bonus power, ideally, Perryton is the failsafe in case you don't have a Paratrooper. Darkside Princess, it's absolutely amazing. Oh right, over this way. It's amazing for Harri decks. You're gonna be because the nature of these calls is on the Magia ability, which mandates that they go back into the soul at the end of the turn. Having cards that gain plus 5k when they swing at the Vanguard and then go back into the soul, it is not a big drawback. On top of that, it allows you to get the units that you want into the soul during the early game, as this is not a Generation Break effect, rather quickly. If you're sitting on the 10k vanilla, swing into the soul. It's safe from being attacked, and then you can call on it later.
Is Eric coming to
And then finally, as a one-up, I have Card Dealer Jacqueline. She gives her Generation Break ability as an Amber clone will allow you to superior call 1 unit from your deck and do a soul charge when it's boosted. It's not a Magia call, but that's not the worst thing in the world. You do get your benefit of the defense against this one big flaw of the deck, that you're not going to have rear guards, and Diablo is going to do very, very dirty things. Very inappropriate. Nobody likes those things.
Does Catastrophe have to stand beast deities?
I shouldn't reveal BCD.
A little bit more organized.
Actually, hold on.
Cares that
Sorry, Rob. I probably should have taken care of this earlier, but this is the 4th attempt already, so oh well. I personally couldn't choose between the two, so I decided why not run both. Happiness Collector. Soul Charge 1. When another unit is superior called, Generation Break 1, you put this into the soul, soul charge another card, and draw. It's a
One more for the top shot.
it's a strong plus option. However, it's vulnerable on the field to a lot of things, and
You didn't flip up one.
I'd say in the present meta, retire centric is very prevalent. So you have the backup option of Cat Knight. Invest 2 to 3. You get to switch between the two. They're not running retire centric deck. Happiness Collector. They are. Cat Knight. Cat Knight's really funny because although he doesn't pull out of the soul, once Generation Break is live, anytime a unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, you can superior call him. And anytime he is superior called from the soul, you get a free superior call
Retire the Vanguard.
to any other rearguard circle. So when you stride, you call him out. If you want a free superior call, use another ability to call him out. You win either way.
You know his hand.
It's free field. It goes back into the soul after, but you're playing peekaboo anyways, and not with that ancient archaic grade 2. I miss him. He was fun.
You know, Sean, power goes to man there.
For the perfect guard choices, you have
If he heals, it doesn't matter.
you have your
Like that hit
generics,
if he
which
heals.
they're not they're not as useful because you don't have any rear guards that you want to protect. If your rear guards are out and exposed, you're not Magia
I like
calling.
what's hard to say. It doesn't matter.
And this variant of the deck,
But yeah.
I'm not
because you
using.
put power on
So
that?
far, I've only revealed one card besides the heart that uses the counterblast, and it's a 1-up. So I'm not using too much counterblast outside of my push turn. To that extent, I choose to use Hoopmaster. Its ability is a Generation Break 1 that when it's used to perfect guard, if you already have a Hoopmaster in the drop zone, you can soul charge 1, then call any unit from your soul to rear. It gets 5k shield and intercept, and if it's still not used to guard at the end of the turn, that unit goes back into the soul. So you get some shenanigans out of it. Like you can say,
According to Vanguardian's combination.
call Cat Knight, and then call another team. You have 20k shield in 2 units that are on the field. Or you just call a trigger. I mean, in both cases, you have 15k shield. But the shield that you generate from this, it's also field. The shield that you generate, it allows you to conserve hand. Not that conserving hand is too much of an issue, because the majority of your calls should come from the soul anyways. But oh man, I lost my train of thought. And my hoop master. You're not using too much counterblasts. I know, it's fun. You're not using too much counterblast unless you're going for a push turn. So you have the flexibility to use the hoop master. Now, my personal preferences for the remainder of the deck, I run Starlight Moonlight Melody Tamer Betty Act 2. For push turns, she is amazing because once a column swings with her, you're going to be able to return that unit to the soul and then superior call another unit to rear. It synergizes very well with my backup option. My backup grade 3, Flying Manticore. It has the Magia searching ability in what it's called on Vanguard for Soul Blast, Counter Blast. And it has on-hit pressure as a rear guard. What this allows you to do is, on any turn, this column, when it swings, no matter what happens, you're going to be able to superior call another unit for another swing afterwards. Which works very well with your push turn. I'll get to that later. Oh god, I'm running out of space. This is no bueno. For my remaining triggers, 4 crits, the poison jugglers. I seldom use them, but they're nice. They're a nice option to have if I'm really going for a game that I expect I'm gonna lose if I don't win. It can make columns better. 4 stands, Prankster Girl of Mirrorland. Her effect is very amusing. And again, synergizes with Betty. If it's soul charged by any effect once Generation Break is live, you can put it back into the deck, replace it with any unit that any other unit that isn't her in the deck. It allows you to selectively soul charge, and gives you the benefit of the doubt if you were to accidentally soul charge one of the triggers. Granted, it's only 4 cards, but it's nice not soul charging your triggers once in a while. And your 4 heals. I couldn't pick which one I like the most, so I put all of them. Stride lineup. More often than not, your first stride is going to be Ardor Dragon Master Amanda. Why? She's a Magia unit. She gives you a free superior call with on-hit pressure. It's nice. It makes your opponent actually contemplate guarding the first stride, because you're probably not going to push them to that high damage in the first turn. Curtain Call Announcer Mephisto. He is my boss stride. I run him at 4. His dastardly deed is that by persona flipping, for every 2 units with Magia in the face up in the G zone after you've activated the effect, you superior call 1 unit with plus 5,000 power. At that point, you're probably after the first strike, you've got 2 units on the board for plus 5,000 power. And if you've used Paratrooper, you can probably very easily flush the board with 5k buffs to everything on the board. Because you'll probably have 2 Paratroopers in the soul at that point. You'll likely have very big columns that swing for very big numbers. In addition to that, for every compliment in the soul, plus 1,000 power to all units on the field. So, by the time we get to the third stride, every column is going to be swinging for at least 30,000. Most likely, you're going to be dropping a lot of 25k plus guards, which you're going to be doing some damage. It's a push turn. We synergize this with this combo because it makes this column go from an 18k column to an easy 30k column. You're gonna be forcing them to drop 25k guards, or else they will need to throw away, or else you're getting a free hit, and then another unit comes out, and they're gonna hit again. I have 2 Lunatics, however, I don't use them too often. I honestly don't. It's a fun effect. All the units that use Superior Call get plus 2k, and it gets a crit. It's nice, but I'm usually trying to kill them with fire, or circus juggling. So, there you go. This is my disaster zone of a deck, and I hope you enjoyed.